See, look at our health bar. We're at 90%, and look how quickly we're going to get to 100%. This is because... Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, it's time for the Essentials edition on Scorpion. Pulled him pretty early, could tell this guy is really good, but you know what? I think he might be a monster. We're gonna go over all the things, all the essential information that people want to know, that they ask about, that is gonna be helpful for you if you pull him or if you're deciding, should I even go for him? We're gonna cover the strong points. What is he adding to your account, really to any account? Why would you consider ranking him up or grinding him out or being excited if you pull him from the 6-star featured crystal? We're gonna combine his flow and his damage rotations, meaning like, as you're just playing him, how well do his abilities fit together? Are you having to pay attention to a lot of extra stuff that you really don't want to, that's causing you to maybe make some mistakes as you go along? Is he recoil friendly, and does he need to be awakened? I mean, that's the most common question outside of should I rank a champion up? We'll cover all of that. Then how to fight, there's some simple stuff that'll be pretty quick with Scorpion, but you do need to know it, make sure you've got that. And then synergies, make sure you stick around for the synergies because there's just two extremely powerful ones. One adds a whole new ability that's refreshable. It is awesome. And the other one, in my opinion, I think it's what's going to skyrocket him up the rankings and into the most desirable champions and possibly allow him to be played safely in high tier war. And then I'll do my conclusions. Right now that I've done this more thorough review, where is he going to show up? Where do I think he's going to show up on my tier list? I'm going to have to run that by the rankings team, the MCoC Illuminati, see what they think. And then where do I think long term is he going to end up, right? Because there's how the game's being played right now and where it seems to be trending. We've got a lot to get to. Let's get started. Okay, instead of me just telling you all the various reasons why I think Scorpion would add value to, and I mean this probably literally any account, I want to show it to you. This is the current CAV AQ in July. You can see we're just going up against this Wolverine here. Now, it is the science chapter, and it is significantly increasing his damage, but you're going to see later in the video, damage is not a problem for this guy. But the reason I'm showing it to you is just here we are, we're just going in. I didn't choose any of my pre-fight, so we're applying the poison damage. You can see the really nice SP1 applying that taunt. The damage is ridiculous, okay? But the point was, not only does he have block proficiency and armor that is literally on par with Captain America Infinity War, but he can choose his damage source, which debuff he is applying, and then also at the same time that will change which his immunities are with shock, rupture, or poison. You saw I went in, just did a regular fight there against Wolverine. Didn't even think use the SP2, which has that really nice petrify, but now we're going up against Immortal Abomination. I'm going to do shock damage, as you can see. Now I'm showing you the node to show this. It is increasing this damage, but again, like I said, you're gonna see incredible damage coming up later in the fight or in this video, but I wanted to be immune to poison. That right there, being able to choose your damage source, having them be 3, rupture is not as common in this game, but the shock and the poison definitely are. We have a lot of nodes in this game that ask you, hey, if you can apply this poison damage or this type of damage with poison, shock, what have you, you're gonna get an extra benefit, or maybe you won't even be able to do the node. That right there is a big deal. Then, having one single champion who can have this variety of shifting immunities and damage sources, it frees up space on your attack team, on your roster as you're going in and tackling content, or you're doing things like BGs or even like high level war. Just that flexibility is a really big deal. And then you're gonna add on, like I said, the block proficiency, the armor, the ability to land a taunt, the ability to, off of the SP2, have that really nice petrify, which again we'll show later. With the SIG ability, you can be healing back up. That right there, for me, is already enough to have him be great for any account, and then we're gonna look at even more things. Now we're gonna just jump into his basic damage and his flow, right? How do his abilities flow together? I am intentionally showing you this without the Venom or the Agent Venom synergy because I want you to see this. I want you to see how this plays out. Now, what we're doing is we're landing as many of our debuffs as we can. They come from the medium attack, so you can see that there. We're eventually going to hold our heavy so we can land these torment debuffs. In order to do that, we really want to get Deadpool to have as little power as possible, and you're gonna see we're gonna land it here. And I left this in on purpose. I got smacked, but then we get saved by our Scorpion sense. It's not 100%. I think it's only a 20%, but I think it's gonna happen again in this fight. I remember I specifically left in these mistakes so you could see, one, the dangers of this play style, but also that he does have some safeguards from it. So we've got all that going. We've got our 11 poisons here. Now we're gonna get our torments because it does help the damage off the SP2 as well. And we do it nicely that time, we time it well. And then look at that big damage. This Deadpool, now they have nerfed his health a little bit, but he's down pretty quickly. So you're using that heavy to get your torments going. You want to ideally have that cancel into a special, right? That's gonna put the torments on the defender. We'll take a look at it again here against this Venom the Duck. Unfortunately, this Venom the Duck, he used to have like 330,000 health, but now they've got 200,000. I guess it's a good thing for players. I shouldn't be complaining too much. But here we go, it's the same process. Now, this is again, without the Venom or Agent Venom synergy. Very important, we will take a look at those later. But this is just him on his own. You know, you're in BGs, maybe you're in war, you couldn't bring them along, or questing, you don't have them, whatever. So here we go, and you're gonna see, stacking up the debuffs is not hard, it's just medium. I'm gonna time this well this time. So we've transferred over 10 torments. Those pause or elongate the amount of time your other debuffs, those poisons, are on. So that's why it's really nice to have them, especially as you go for the SP2, which kind of like ignites them or explodes them, whatever term you want, stings them, whatever term you want to use. So here we go. Now we just want to bait out this special from the Duck here. Gonna, again, same thing, the heavy. And it's not as big of a window as Hercules, but there is something that happens there. I think if you were able to slow it down enough, you'd see that Kabam's giving you a little bit of help in landing it. As you practice it more, you really can get it. And we've got the nice Petrify on, we've got all of these powers, and then you see the Sting Burst there, right? Venom went to go ahead and throw his own special and exploded himself. He finished off, he's dead. On his own, that's pretty good damage, right? That's a 200,000-ish health champion. One was healing, one was not. This is just a rank 3 Scorpion, not running recoil or anything like that. I think that's respectable. I think that's good. And then you add on all of the other utility. Also, I do want to mention there is a play style where you go to the SP3. You can get these massive furies, or you can really gather them up. We're seeing that a little bit. I think it's very difficult to pull off, and I think it's not necessary, at least in all of the questing content I've done so far. It was not necessary. I am excited to explore it, and I think as more people have him, we may see it come into play a bit more. Is he recoil friendly? Well, he has the ability to go poison immune. Then with certain masteries, you can really minimize what's going on with the bleed there. Thing is you're going to want to be throwing specials. However, lots of twists and turns on this one. When we look at the signature ability, you're going to want to watch this part. You're gonna see he can be healing back up. Now that's only in certain matches. So the answer on this one is, I'm not gonna put him as overly recoil friendly, but I could see really smart players who really dial in with him and use him in very specific matches, getting a very long distance in usability with him running recoil. The signature ability. Does he need it? No, I don't think he needs it at all, unless you want to play him in some very specific ways or take advantage of something. But as far as the basics and what we're really showing here in general, no, he doesn't need it. Also, I do think it's nice, right? Being able to block unblockable attacks, and that's just on the initial awakening. That's great. It's in specific situations, so keep that in mind. But you're often throwing that SP1, you're getting the taunt up. Taunt is powerful anyway, so I could see that being really nice to have. And then that heal on the second bullet point, you're gonna want that at a higher level, from what I can tell, a higher sig level. And I, again, will show that when we're getting to the synergies and we show that fight against Null. How to fight. I said we'd keep this quick, and we will. He is #metal, so Magneto. Additionally, he has this ability to evade with a Scorpion Sends. It's only a 20% chance, but it stays up, and you go on to use that. So maybe someone who has an anti-miss counter, right? Shang-Chi, Nick Fury, Mole Man, champions like this, or someone who can manipulate their combo counter. It looks like if you can get it quickly enough, you're not gonna have to worry about Scorpion Sense. I don't think he's an overly large problem, but he's just someone you wanna be aware of. He can really hurt you if you trigger that Scorpion Sense, and then he goes in automatically and starts attacking. Okay, he has a variety of helpful synergies for himself and other champions. The two main ones, in my opinion here, are definitely gonna be the one with Venom and Agent Venom, that's gonna be adding a 10% passive fury for every damaging debuff he has placed, he being Scorpion, on the opponent. And you need to keep it up though, right? So that will fluctuate with how many you have on. And here's the other one, this is with Toad, and it is a slow off of the Unstoppable. And we're gonna show this here against the Spider-Gwen. The coolest thing is, it's refreshable. I went in and tested it, and just the way things have been lately, I thought, oh, it's probably not gonna be refreshable, but here we go, watch. Every time we land a heavy, not only are we landing those torment debuffs, which we talked about are really important, but we're refreshing our slow. Now, I have increased damage because of the Cav EQ node, but this is pretty incredible. This is amazing. Toad is a good champion as it is already, but to have a refreshable slow to go along with all of the other utility and damage abilities that Scorpion has, I don't know. I think this is pretty awesome. I'm going to show you this fight against Gore where you're going to see how with the Venom and Agent Venom synergy alone, it really opens up a whole other, much safer, more simple way of playing Scorpion, and then you add on the slow. That's pretty cool stuff. Okay, then now we're gonna just take a look at, I think, his full kit together. We've shown Toad and the nice slow that can be refreshed. That's a big deal. You just add that on to a champion with this many abilities, this much utility. That's a massive, massive deal to have a refreshable slow, and Toad is respectable on his own. Now we're gonna go up against this Gore, again, Cav EQ, about 300,000 health. I don't think anyone's really thinking, I know, I'm gonna use Scorpion, which is something I really love too, right? Often I think we were using our Dooms and our Hoods and champions like this, Clairvoyance, get rid of all those annoying buffs from Gore. I went ahead and did the Rupture. I thought it would be fun. I know that, I knew at the time anyways, Gore applies debuffs. I thought maybe there's a chance it was poison. But anyways, here we go. So you're gonna see, I'm gonna kind of play this basic playstyle I'm talking about. Now, when you have Venom or Agent, I keep on saying Agent Venom, you get a 10% Fury, 10% increase per of your damaging debuffs that you have on. So you're gonna see that number, that passive Fury there. It's going to fluctuate depending on how many of the Ruptures I have on him at the time. You can see right now I'm just sticking to this SP1, and that's one of the things I want to show you. With this synergy, you have those massive, it ends up being massive Furies. They continue, they being the defender, keep suffering the sting burst when they throw their specials. You can see all I've done is very basic 5-hit combos, some parry, use my heavy, and he's already down 50% health. Now, I also wanted to show you, look at this SP2. Remember, my Scorpion is about SIG 160. Look at our health bar. We're at 90%, and look how quickly we're going to get to 100%. This is because we have that Petrify on, Gore is trying to heal, and we're already at 100%. We've been there for a while, and because of that really high SIG, he's also healing up. That's a nice thing. I don't think it's worth you using your Awakening Gem and on your 6 stones just for that, but as his SIG grows, I think that's pretty cool. And then I didn't do anything fancy. I think I landed the SP2 there. No, I don't even have any torments. I'm just parrying, 5-hit comboing, using my specials, nothing fancy at all. That's without the fancy playstyle. And that's why I think the synergy with Venom and Agent Venom is so incredibly powerful for Scorpion, is you, for most cases, I think you can just completely bypass the slightly risky or risk involved, let's say, style of heaving into your specials, because the damage just ramps up enough, especially with all of those passive Furies that you get. And then you have the taunt off the SP1. It's absolutely delicious. And then if you want to play it with a little more risk as you get more comfortable with him, you're just going to get even more. You're going to get your cake, your ice cream, and you'll be able to eat it all too. All right, and then now we're looking at the rough draft for August. Yes, we're already looking at the August tier list here. I obviously will need to run it by the MCoC Illuminati, the rankings team, but after doing this thorough review, I think he's at the top of the top shelf, and that's with those synergies, mainly with Venom and Agent Venom. We've talked extensively at why those are so important, so I'm not going to belabor that. But then you add on that one with Toad. Honestly, I could see him going to the tier above all. Now remember, we're reframing this, we're continuing to evolve the tier list, but it's going to be the champions that most efficiently help you clear content with a variety of damage sources, with a nice power sting with the taunt, so the flow is going very, very well. With a synergy that allows you to play him 5-hit combos, heavying in sometimes very safely, and then a play style that you can utilize those synergies and then up that damage significantly. And then also, like we mentioned, then SP3 style of play that I think we're just starting to get into. If that becomes more practical, we're finding how to use that, I could see him being in the tier above all. I'll leave it up to DLL for the war rankings. He puts out a great war essentials video. And then as far as BGs, you know, I've had him in the dual threat. I don't think he's going to be in the highest tier there, just because I think he is relatively solvable as a defender, but having that quick fairly quick ramp up, depends on the nodes. Obviously he can't handle things where the debuffs are getting purified and things like that, but a nice damage ramp, and again, ability to have different immunities, and then the damage sources could be very beneficial in BGs. I think he is awesome. I will highly consider him, if not for my next rank 4, but for a very early one. And I'm very, very pumped up to take him to rank 4 soon, have him be in the next featured crystal. Let me know what you think. If you've pulled him, obviously people will be watching this over a variety of time. If you pulled him, how you're using him, if you've already got him ranked up, if you think what we think we got right, what you think we got wrong. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.